Welcome to Mr. Biz Radio, biz talk for biz owners. If you're ready to stop faking the funk and take your business onward and upward, this show is for you. And now, here's Mr. Biz, Ken Wentworth.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Mr. Biz Radio with me, Mr. Biz, Ken Wentworth. This week, guys, we're going to talk about a couple of different things. So first of all, we're going to talk about how to improve decision-making, and not just improve decision-making, right? Everyone talks about that. Everyone's heard a bunch of different ways to do that. We're going to talk about some neuro-based approaches to improve decision-making. It's going to help relieve stress, workplace, non-workplace, maybe in your home life, right? And then we're also going to talk about preventing, and then if they do happen, resolving disputes in business. And it really applies to everything, again, across life. Yeah. But this is something that's we haven't really talked about this specifically about the dispute side of things. And when I talked to our guest, it's been several months ago now when I talked to him, and he started telling me about what his area of expertise is. And I don't know if you remember, Samuel. I remember you got about 45 seconds in, and I'm like, you can stop. I'm in. Let's do this.
Exactly. Yeah,
so
right.
I was super excited. So our guest this week is Mr. Samuel Bentil. He's a senior director of construction disputes and advisory at Ankura Consulting Group. He is also the author of the upcoming book, Avoid Construction Disputes: 10 Principles to Collaborate Effectively, to achieve on time and on budget project objectives. He has a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and an MBA from the Bob Gagliardi School of Business and Economics at Thompson Rivers University in British Columbia, Canada. He is also a certified professional project management professional, a PMP, and a risk management professional from the Project Management Institute. Samuel, welcome to Mr. Biz Radio.
No, thanks so much for having me, Ken. I've been looking forward to this show.
Yeah, absolutely. Been looking forward to it. Again, I know we had to have a reschedule in there sometime a couple months ago, and unfortunately, we were already booked out, and so we had to, we couldn't get you in until now. But I'm so glad we got you in, and I'll be honest with you, I forgot because it's been so long.
Yes.
And last week, when I got sort of I don't want to call them the briefings or whatever for the guests we were having this week, and I'm like, oh my gosh, finally we get Samuel on the show. I'm looking forward to it because I knew you'd reschedule, but I wasn't sure when we were get you back.
Exactly.
Before we dive into all that, though, Samuel, you've had an amazing career. You've done a lot of different things. Tell us a little bit about that career entrepreneurial journey you've had so far.
Thanks so much, Ken. It's been interesting because my career, I never expected that. 17, 18 years down the line, because I didn't expect that my career would be taking this direction. Initially, when I started out, my desire was to join the army like my dad, because my dad was an engineer in the army, was a mechanical engineer in the army. So after my undergrad degree in mechanical engineering, I was also going to go to the army like my dad. But like fate will have it, just at the point of going to the military academy, I just had a switch of mind, and I ended up in the construction industry, in the mining construction industry. And Ken, that has been, phenomenal. The reason why I wanted to go was to travel the world and to experience different cultures. However, when I found myself in the mining industry, I had similar experiences, being able to travel the world, be able to meet different cultures. And for 8 years straight, I worked in the mining industry, building new gold mines and expanding existing gold mines. And after that, Ken, after all the experiences in the mining construction, I was like, I've seen enough of mining. I've seen enough of dirt. I've seen enough of all the bushes and all the remote camp life. So I was looking for something different to do. And lo and behold, when I moved to Canada over 10 years ago, I fell into the field of construction claims and dispute consulting. And this was interesting for me, Ken, because I was on my first eight years in the field. I saw how projects were planned, how projects were conceived, how projects were executed, and how projects were completed and handed over to operations and for them to produce gold. So now, being as a construction claims consultant, now I'm looking back and seeing what are the issues that occur on the projects that cause projects to derail, and how projects get out of hand and costs get out of, and disputes start arising. And in fact, when I worked in the mining, my last project before I moved, I had that deep experience of a project, almost a project failure, I would say, because the project experienced so much risk events just took off and took the team out of the team did not expect, and the project was delayed, was over budget. The whole community that was being held the project, everything just came crashing down. The owner and the contractor disputed and the costs escalated. So that experience coming into construction claims really put my mindset understanding what are the fundamental and underlying causes of delays and this, because I was close to the executive management team and I understood the decisions that were made in the project conception stage that ended up causing dispute and cost overruns and delays in the end, and the project almost becoming a failure. So with that background, working in the dispute as a dispute consultant, I've been really passionate about helping owners, contractors, business owners to avoid the detrimental causes of dispute. Because we all want to go to work, have a good time, and have a blast, and get back home to the family. Nobody expects to go to work and go and have more stress and go and be, have all these issues on project and come back home. So that is where my passion comes from, that because I've seen this firsthand and helping companies avoid these issues. That is where my passion is, being able to help identify, investigate, and help owners and contractors and my clients be able to avoid the detrimental causes right from the get-go, making the right decisions from the start so that there will be harmonious and collaborative working relationships. So that has been my career for the past 17, 18 years, working as being in the construction field and now as a construction dispute and claims consultant. And I'm just, very passionate about it because I saw the detrimental effect right for the get-go, my colleagues and the company owners and the founder and everything. And my passion is to just help organizations be able to avoid all that, all the stress, all the necessary costs of resolving dispute and working collaboratively where the innovations and the creative juices flow and able to achieve anything on time and on budget and exceed expectations. So that is kind of a summary of my background, Ken.
Well, I can understand why you got to where you're at now and why you're doing what you're doing now. And I can hear the passion. I can see the passion. But I have to ask, so going back to when you were doing all the mining projects before you moved to Canada, you mentioned you were traveling around. So I can live vicariously through your travels, Samuel. Where all were you working? What all the different cultures you get to see?
So besides my original home country in Ghana, where I worked on gold mines, I also worked in South Africa. I work in Johannesburg. I work in mining construction projects. We did a lot of planning and project development in South Africa. And also I built gold mines in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Okay.
And moving here to Canada, I've worked in construction projects across Canada and British Columbia and from the East Coast to the West Coast of Canada.
Interesting. So I can't even imagine, we're running out of time here for this segment, but I can't imagine some of the challenges. I mean, gosh, I was going to say you're in all this dispute resolution side now, I'm sure, because of all of this, the school of hard knocks, so to speak, that you went through. And I can imagine that where you started with all the mining stuff and all those different areas, there's got to be so many different, again, some of the things you mentioned, some of the culture, maybe even a little bit of language barriers, misunderstandings because of that, and politics, right? And so some of the international business things that I've looked into, even different areas of the world, they're not even that far apart necessarily. The politics are so different. So we're going to talk about more of that in the next segment here. Come back after the break. Again, we're talking with Samuel Bentil and on Mr. Biz Radio.
If you would like to reach hundreds of thousands of business owners every week, Mr. Biz Radio can help. Our show airs globally 7 days a week for more than 25 hours across several internet radio stations, plus 20 plus podcast platforms. Also, video exposure on the new exclusive Mr. Biz Network streaming channel, which gets blasted to 100 plus streaming platforms and the Mr. Biz YouTube channel and our 350,000 social media followers multiple times every week. Join Mr. Biz Nation as an advertiser by emailing us at info@MrBizSolutions.com.
Attention, Mr. Biz Nation. We have an exclusive offer just for you. Get lifetime access to scarcity countdown timers and logic links for only $69. Yes, you heard it right. Only $69. These tools will add urgency to your email campaigns and website pages, helping you increase conversions, sales, and capture more leads. Don't miss this incredible opportunity. Visit getpulsetools.com now and take your business to new heights.
Got a question for Mr. Biz you want answered on air? Email it to info@mrbizsolutions.com. Now, once again, here's Mr. Biz.
All right, welcome back to the show. Again, talking with Samuel Bentil this week. A lot of good stuff. I want to get into a little bit though, Samuel, I know you, based on your experiences and all the different challenges that you've faced and overcome, right? And learned how to overcome. Some of those different things that you talked about, I know when we originally talked about you coming on the show, about some of these helpful ways to get through improved decision-making and neuro-based things, which I'm always, my oldest daughter is, she graduated with a degree in neuroscience. She kind of got me into all that stuff. And so I'm very intrigued by that. And, you know, we hear a lot of these same things. And that's one of the things I was intrigued about having you on the show is, you know, if you go out and Google improved decision-making, you can see, you know, the top 10 things, they're all, it's basically all the same things, right? And I think what your approach, your neuro-based approach kind of takes a little bit of a different angle of that. And I think is even a better approach. So if you would walk us through a little bit of that.
Right. Ken, thanks so much. I mean, in decision-making organizations, there are so many factors that really come into play when business owners, when founders, when company leaders, executives are making decisions in organizations. And there are so many factors that need to come into play. And what I realized when I was writing my book and I was understanding what are the causes, I realized that having the right information right from the get-go was so fundamental. Having the right information is so fundamental, making sure that the information that goes into any decision-making comes from the right sources, comes from the accurate sources. The data that we are looking at is top-notch. That one is it's not debatable. It's just fundamental in every decision-making. You just want to make sure that every decision that we are going to make is actually, we have the right information on our fingertips. But coming to the background on how the neuroscience, what we realize is that there has been so many research and understanding on what are the factors that impact organizations, what impact businesses. We know of the pestle, which is the political, the economic, the social, the technological, and legal factors that come into play when you're making decisions. But and what I've been so missing in all these factors is the role our own mindset play when we are taking decisions. The role our mindset play in taking decisions. How does our mindset affect all these external factors, which are usually out of our control? And Ken, you'll be amazed to know that actually the mindset aspect of decision making that impacts whatever decision we make is actually it's priority. It's so key in understanding how risk events occur later after we make decisions. And recent researches in neuroscience and even the development of AI has shown us what goes on in the mindset, what occurs when we are making decisions, what are the things that will come into play in our minds and how it trigger our decision making. There's actually a tool that has been developed called Neuralink. And in Ken, Neuralink has shown us that it's able to read the energy and the frequencies that are in our mind when we start making a decision process. So this Neuralink tool has shown us that our minds are constantly sending waves of energy, electrical energy and frequencies that are able to be read by this Neuralink device. So we realize that as our mind are sending this waves energy out, it causes an event in the atmosphere. It causes our mindset because all our actions are based on our thought processes. All our actions and our speeches are based on our thinking processes. So understanding this is so key that the fundamental is how do we process all the information that we have and how do we take the decision? And every decision that organization makes affects the stakeholders, it affects our employees, our customers, our clients. It affects even our own selves. It affects, there are so many, and the profitability of the company, the bottom line for the company. And when we are making decisions, what are the triggers that makes us take each decision? Because all of a sudden, most leaders' decisions are, let us see what is the most profitable decision. That's the first thing. Is this going to make us money? How is it going to bring it to our bottom line? But the neuroscience says that when we think and we see a threat and we perceive something as a threat, our mind, what is called the amygdala, which takes the information of the threat, quickly observe that threat and transfers it to the lower part of the brain. And that lower part of the brain is looking at ways we can protect ourselves, how we see the threat, how we can protect ourselves. And the problem, Ken, here is that when we perceive that threat, we are not able to be innovative. We are not be able to have great interpersonal relationships because all of us, we go in a defensive mode. And it limits our ability to see the perspective that lies outside and to tap in the resources and the collaborative efforts that are available. So in every decision making, we need to be able to review the decisions based on a positive limelight and ask ourselves, how is this decision going to impact our stakeholders? How is it going to make the lives of our customers or our clients better? How is it going to improve our workers? How is it going to improve the community? And how is the product going to affect? So now you are framing all the risks that are coming in a positive mindset, and you're looking at how these decisions are going to be beneficial to our stakeholders, all those around us. And immediately we start asking these positive questions. What triggers our minds is that our amygdala transfers our thought process into the upper brain, where all our innovative, all the innovations, where all interpersonal relationships, where all the ideas and the creative juices flow. Because now we are no longer conceiving threat around us, but we're looking at how we can positively impact the environment around us and how our stakeholders can be benefited. And we're not looking at protecting ourselves. So when we project, then it sends positive waves into the atmosphere. Then all our thought processes, now we can start to see opportunities that we will not be able to see when we are in the threat mode. So in the decision-making process, it's so important to understand the kind of questions that goes into final mechanisms, making sure that we ask the questions in a positive mindset. We reframe all the questions coming to us, how it's going to benefit, in what way will it improve their lives and make other people better. And when we start to do that, Ken, you'll be amazed about how we can improve and how our decision making can just be spot on. So that is the principal way for us before we think about technological, how this can benefit us, profit us in all that ways. So this is so crucial, asking those important questions, how our decisions are going to affect, that transforms our decision making and it takes the risk of us. And now we are becoming more collaborative and we are seeing what is possible. We are just seeing what is possible.
Yeah,
so,
and I think
so that's,
I was going to say, I'm sorry, go ahead, Samuel.
Yeah, so that is the fundamental changes that neuroscience help in making decision making. That takes all the risk from us. Then we see only possibilities ahead of us.
Yeah, it's super interesting to me. And as you're explaining all that, I'm lining up all the pieces. And what makes it even more intriguing is that each individual person perceives a lot of those risks that you mentioned. Yes. It depends on so many different factors on how they perceive something, whether it's a risk or not, right? Yes. And so not only, so you have to, as you're trying to, let's say, influence someone on a decision, or you're trying to say, hey, this is the right direction to go, and you're trying to get some collaboration, is also trying to think about how is this person that I'm speaking to going, are they going to perceive this as a risk? Well, their role is in finance, and finance is risk averse typically. Or this person is in marketing and they're like, hey, let's do everything. We don't care, And so it's very intriguing to me on how you have to kind of interpret that all along the way. We're going to hit another break here, guys. We'll continue talking about this decision-making as well as getting into preventing and resolving disputes.
How would you like to have direct access to Mr. Biz to help you run your business more profitably and more efficiently? At MrBizSolutions.com, you get live access to not only Mr. Biz, but also several of his hand-picked and trusted business experts, each with 20 plus years of experience to help you optimally manage and grow your business. That's just the start of where Mr. Biz Solutions begins. Learn more at MrBizSolutions.com. That's MrBizSolutions.com.
Attention, Mr. Biz Nation. We have an exclusive offer just for you. Get lifetime access to scarcity countdown timers and logic links for only $69. Yes, you heard it right, only $69. These tools will add urgency to your email campaigns and website pages, helping you increase conversions, sales, and capture more leads. Don't miss this incredible opportunity. Visit getpulsetools.com now and take your business to new heights.
Check out all 3 of Mr. Biz's best-selling books at MrBizBooks.com. Now, once again, here's Mr. Biz.
All right, welcome back to the show. This week, again, we're talking with Samuel Bentil. You can actually follow him on LinkedIn, as well as you can find out more on his website, SamuelKBentil.com. That's SamuelKBentil.com. We'll put that in the show notes as well. Fascinating insights, Samuel, on the whole aspect of the neuro-basing approaches to decision-making, improving decision-making, because, again, as I was talking about before when I introduced the topic, is I think when you Google, improve decision-making, you're seeing a lot of, again, I'm putting this in my infantile way of thinking about things, but in maybe the first 2 layers of decision-making, whereas what you're talking about is down in levels 3 and 4, right?
Yes.
You're taking it down a few more additional levels. And if you just stop at the first 2, you can probably make some improvements. But man, if you can get those first 2 and then drive it down into that 3rd and 4th layer, I can't even imagine the absolute, the additional collaboration, and what we're getting into next is when you're doing those things with the decision-making process, you're preventing or as they happen, being able to resolve disputes. Is that kind of how this all flows together, Samuel?
That is how it all flows together, Ken. Because the business relationship that we create, we see it initially as transactional, but it's more than that. The opportunities of bringing people together and creating products, creating services is to improve the lives of people. So this mindset, neuroscience-based mindset that we discussed in the previous segment will just make sure that we are able to foresee our business relationships in the light of being a relationships and a long-term relationships. Because why should my customer just come once and the next time go to another person? Why doesn't he come back to me? So it gives you a long-term view and building a longer-term relationship with our clients. And that is the whole idea. Seeing it as a relationship process, not as a transactional process that, oh, you made the payment, I received it, okay, bye-bye, have a good day. No, we have to go to see it in the long term. And we are improving the lives of someone, and you're being part of someone and contributing to someone's life in a positive way. So it gives a long term. And when that relationship is established and not become transactional, then when dispute or issues come up, because that relationship has been established right from the get-go, then the conversations become more simpler. Because now I know you as a human being, I understand where you're coming from. Then our conversation totally becomes different than it would have been if it was just transactional.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I mean, in a very simplistic way of thinking about it, I'm thinking about a situation where, let's say you and I have done business before, and I treated you in a very transactional way, and you walked away, you got the product or service, but you walked away feeling like a little bit crappy, right? Like, I got what I wanted, I got the new computer or whatever it might be, but I didn't really feel good about how I was treated. I felt like I was just rushed along. I was just in and out. Like I was, again, very transactional, as opposed to you buy a PC from me and I say, Samuel, when you get home, I'm going to follow up with you in 3 days. I want to see how everything's going. If you have any questions at all on how this thing works, here is my email. Here is my personal cell phone number. Call me if you're having problems. And it's not, becomes very much less transactional. And you walk away like, oh my gosh, Ken cares. He's trying to help me out here. And by the way, the next time I buy a computer, I'm going to go to Ken because I didn't get just pushed out the door, et cetera.
Exactly. You nailed it right at the head, Ken. That's what the newest in mindset just positions our minds into ensuring that we are looking at our customers and we are looking at the long-term aspect of the business, looking at the long-term relationship that we are building and not being transactional. And when we establish that, it opens communication. It makes the communication flow, Ken, really, we're able to speak to each other. And when there's an issue coming up, now it doesn't become, there's no blockage on saying that, can I let Ken know about what is happening or the issues I'm having with this thing? You're able to quickly communicate that. These are the issues I'm having. These are the challenges I'm having developing this product for you. Will you be able to assist in this and give me more clarity? Then it becomes oh, there's no blockage in communication, because it's the blockages in communication that causes this dispute and all these stresses to come. Because now you're holding all the cards to your chest. You're not sharing information with a client or with a manufacturer, and then now things pop up at the last end that, oh, these are the issues we had, these are the issues we had. It becomes too late even to take a decision. Then now we have to go to court.
And so going back to that simple example, Samuel, is, let's say you bought a computer from me. I think in there's two different ways. The way I'm thinking about it is, if you walked away feeling very, very transactional, and let's say two days down the road, the computer is not working for you, your approach to me is going to be way different, right? You're going to call me and you're going to go, this computer is a piece of crap and you need to replace it, as opposed to the other way, right? So I give you my personal number. I show care. 2 days later, it's not working. You call me and you go, Ken, hey, I know you said you could help me out. I'm hoping you can help me out with this problem. Completely different, right?
Completely
and by
different.
the way, my reception of either one of those responses is going to be different. You call me and say, this computer is a piece of crap. Right away, I'm up on my haunches like, no, it's not, right? I want to fight you back, as opposed to you saying, hey, Ken, you said you could help me out here. I'm hoping you can help me out. And now I want to help you out.
Exactly. that is what we've been missing in the businesses and the interactions between customers and clients, and always causes a lot of stress down the line. Because we are all human beings, Ken. That's why it becomes the bottom line too. And we want to improve each other's life, so that we're able to live comfortably and happily on this earth that we all find ourselves in. So having that mindset, having that thought and rephrasing questions in a more positive side help us to be able to build that relationship right from the get-go. Then we have shared values. Then we see our values through that communication. We start, oh, you are also from this state or this way. Then we build that shared value. We have that connection through that communication. We have to establish that connection from the get-go. And when we have shared values and our goals are aligned with our clients, our customers, it works like magic. It just flows, because now we are on the same team, we have the same goals, we have the same objectives, we are achieving the same vision. There's no other ulterior plans at the back. We are all working toward the same vision. And when two minds come together, then there's nothing stopping them.
I can imagine, again, as you're talking through this, Samuel, I'm imagining, you had mentioned your early part of your career when you're dealing with mining, and especially with the huge dollars that we're talking about. I cannot imagine. Money makes people do crazy things. Even people who are very ethical, good people, money makes people do sometimes pretty shady things, pretty bad things, react in very emotional ways. I can't imagine, as you're dealing with tens of millions of dollars, the reaction of a contractor versus, the developer or whatever it might have been.
Yeah.
And everyone trying to point fingers, right?
Everybody's trying to point fingers. Everybody's trying to point fingers, because right from the get-go, the decisions making was not relational. The decision making right from the get-go, because it's all transactional, expecting, oh, we are going to get the lowest cost bidder to produce this mine for us, and we didn't take our time to look at whether the values of the company really aligns with our values, whether they have the same objectives and have the vision, whether they buy into our vision objectives. And we just go in, okay, we like this guy's bid. He has come low. Let us go with this guy, this team and this group. And down the line, you realize that you are spending 2-3 years completing a project, and this team's culture is totally different from your team's culture. And we are interacting, and we see that there's clashes every day, and we cannot agree on anything. Then you realize that the decisions we made right from the get-go, we didn't take into consideration the entire picture of the whole project and looking at it in the long term. $250 million project has become $400 million, and nothing is working after that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely fascinating stuff, Samuel. We're out of time here, but I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Ken, for having me. It's been really great. I didn't see how the time was really flown that by. Time flies by when you're having fun. So this is great. It's a great time. Thank you so much, guys. It's been really fun.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for coming on. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a fantastic rest of your week. And don't forget, as always, cash flow is king.
To become part of Mr. Biz Nation, follow him on all social media platforms or never miss a show by going to MrBizRadio.com. If you prefer free video content, visit the Mr. Biz YouTube channel or check out his streaming channel, which is available on 100 plus streaming platforms at MrBizNetwork.com.